So it looked like DiJonai Carrington just got booted from the Dallas Wings.
DiJonai, your game was stinking in the mud, and the Dallas Wings wanted nothing to do with you going forward.
What do you call a player who causes so much trouble that referees themselves require security backup? DiJonai Carrington, Jane. To be honest, the Dallas Wings told their most contentious player that it was time. This is the same player who wounded her own teammate, Paige Beckers, while attempting to harm Jessica Shepard, poked Caitlin Clark in the eye during the playoffs, and caused so much havoc during a Chicago Sky game that officials actually called for security. You can tell why Dallas was eager to get rid of her just by looking at her 4 egregious fouls this season. Comment, fire Carrington, if you want him removed from the league. Come on, let's go.
DiJonai Carrington couldn't keep her hands clean either. Would stand out of headlines on the internet. She was always in headlines, punching players in the eye. And then we have to remember, she nearly injured Paige. Like, everybody forgot about that. Y'all remember when she nearly injured Paige, nearly took her whole knee out? Like, we got to remember all of those things transpired during this basketball season, man. I'm here to tell you, they made it their business to get rid of her.
Let's examine why Dallas first allowed Carrington to leave before delving into how she was fired. What distinguishes a dangerous player from a tough defender? Purpose. Additionally, the highlight reel of DiJonai Carrington reads like a medical report. Let's begin with the event that made her widely known. The entire basketball community was left wondering what they had just witnessed as Caitlin Clark suffered a black eye in that notorious eye poke during the 2024 playoffs.
DiJonai, you're always in a dirty play. DiJonai, once again, here we are today. Oh, DiJonai.
Imagine this moment from the first-round playoff match between the Connecticut Sun and Indiana Fever. Carrington moves in to defend when Clark attempts a signature shot. The next move isn't your usual defensive maneuver. Carrington's hand directly touches Clark's face, focusing on the region around his eyes. The effect was noticeable and instantaneous. When Clark's head jerked back from the impact, she instantly clutched her face in apparent agony. A noticeable black eye that became the playoffs' most talked-about feature befell the rookie wonder who had carried the Fever through an amazing season.
As everyone else has seen this angle, I'm calling her in and I'm saying to her, I need answers.
However, the majority of people are unaware of this play. The fallout showed how well thought out Carrington's violent behavior is. Carrington showed no guilt or concern for her actions, while Clark suffered with the bodily harm. No expression of regret or recognition that she could have gone too far. Rather, she intensified her aggressive strategy, perhaps taking pride in what transpired.
And kind of swatted at Caitlin. Did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am.
When we play the Seattle Storm on June 4th, we observe the exact identical trend in action. Skylar Diggins attempts to score in transition while driving to the hoop on a fast break. When Carrington approaches to defend, she allegedly tries to stop the shot by making contact with Diggins's head rather than making a clean play on the ball. It was immediately clear that this was not basketball, therefore the officials called it a flagrant foul. This was aimed at the head region of another famous player.
Let's watch it, and this will give us a couple of different angles.
Corrections of games. There's your tip. Diggins, who's still fast, gets down the floor, buries it, draws the foul, but is shaken up.
The pattern was readily apparent to fans and analysts. These were no longer isolated instances. The same careless touch with the heads and faces of famous players was evident, as was the same targeting behavior. "That is not physicality," said one fan, eloquently expressing the feeling. "That is a sloppy move from a player who has no business being on the court." With every occurrence, the public's indignation became more vocal, and with good reason.
And there's Skylar on the floor. At first glance, this might not look too bad. But when we get some different angles of it, you just see how this is clearly, definitely, 100% not a basketball play. Let's take a look. We got DiJonai.
Signals for the officials that this will likely get upgraded.
DiJonai, did you forget what sport you're playing? You know this is basketball, right?
The severity of each episode increased, as did the public's reaction. Every subsequent Carrington foul was interpreted using the Clark incident as a model. Aggressive, careless, and always going after elite athletes. Whether pursuing well-established veterans like Diggins or up-and-coming talent like Clark, Carrington's strategy stayed the same. Aim for the head and face, and wherever you can, cause mayhem. Dallas was unable to defend these occurrences as quickly as they began to occur, which paved the way for even more bad conduct.
DiJonai Carrington is clearly a dirty player. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if Chin, what do you have going on in that mind of yours? Are you okay? DiJonai, are you okay? DiJonai, are you okay? Are you okay? DiJonai, are you okay? DiJonai, are you okay? Are you okay? Yes, DiJonai. Get it together, collect your thoughts, collect your emotions, because the last thing we need to see you is crash out.
The majority of players are concerned about using dirty plays to harm opponents. While attempting to harm someone else, Carrington was able to eliminate her own comrade. The game against the Minnesota Lynx on May 21st encapsulates all of Carrington's shortcomings in terms of basketball strategy. You see a player who is so intent on doing harm that she causes collateral casualties in her own locker room.
Ball's being pushed down court. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, this will be a better angle of it. I think we'll be able to see how hard the foul is right here. That's a hard foul, and she does get her in the face when she's coming down.
She attempts another eye poke, this time aimed at Jessica Shepard, but inadvertently hurts Paige Beckers, a teammate, in the process. Imagine the situation. Carrington enters with her typical reckless abandon as Shepard goes up for a shot. She tries to stop the shot, but instead of making a clean defensive play, she hits Shepard in the face. The contact was so plainly harmful and purposeful that the officials promptly declared it a flagrant offense.
Basically reached around Shepard's body, but the fact that she went for the basketball and for the block really...
The basketball play.
Yeah, it is. And she ends up getting Shepard in the face, the nose. I don't know which takes precedent. Oh, see, it's the hit the ball and then it's the pull back. They're showing it on the Jumbotron at a different angle that sort of looked like, watch after Carrington goes for the block, watch her pull back right here. And that's the part that I don't know if you separate that.
But the mayhem didn't end there, though. Paige Beckers was put in danger by Carrington's out-of-character actions during the same careless play. In the aftermath of Carrington's attempt at dirty play, her own teammate was captured. Consider the mechanics that allow a single player to create this much mayhem in a split second. To cause this degree of devastation, you must be totally uncontrollable and intent only on hurting people. Even her teammates began to wonder if playing with Carrington was worth the ongoing danger. There's a big issue when you're afraid of getting wounded by your own player during practice and competition. Beckers and other Wings players started to show annoyance with Carrington's mannerisms, understanding that they could be the victims of her careless behavior at any time.
You don't get to plow through somebody's back, almost injure a teammate, and then say, yeah, and then like claim that you've done nothing. You've done nothing. Like, and people are like, stand on business. She's like trying to laugh at it. I'm like, no, you're just Pat Bev. You're not Draymond. You're Pat Bev. Like, realistically, you're Pat Bev. That's it. And like, look, and I mean this when I say this. It was a dangerous play only for Paige.
The coaching staff and players for the Lynx saw this degree of carelessness firsthand and were astounded by what they saw. As they saw Carrington target their players' faces while putting her own teammate in risk, you could see the contempt on their faces. The coaching staff at Minnesota was aware that they were dealing with a player whose style extended well beyond aggressive basketball. This instance showed that Carrington's tactics weren't limited to endangering opponents. Everyone on the court was in danger. The management of Dallas Wings began to see that they had a liability rather than an asset. You're not creating a winning culture when your own player starts to jeopardize player safety and team cohesion. You're fostering an atmosphere in which no one feels secure.
Was it a flagrant 1? Yes. Could it have been called a flagrant 2? Yes. Was it more dangerous to Paige Beckers than anyone else? Because Paige Beckers was the one who was the person with the break Jessica Shepard's fall. Could she have blown out her teammate's knee? Yeah. Yeah. Like, that is what, like, realistically, that is what the conversation should be about. Because she wanted the Kiki Iriafen viral meme. Because as soon as she did it, look at what she does as soon as she did it. As soon as she did, she walks towards Jessica Shepard and just tries to do the Kiki Iriafen face.
No team can overlook the point at which you start harming your own players in an attempt to harm others. This was no longer about playing tough defense or being physically strong. This concerned a basketball player whose behavior had become so out of control that it affected everyone around her. Following such events, officials began to handle Carrington differently because they realized they were dealing with someone who was unable to manage her behavior on the court. When was the last time you seen a referee during a game call security on a player? Greetings from the DiJonai Carrington universe. The height of Carrington's on-court mayhem was the Chicago Sky game incident. The instant authorities determined they required a player's protection.
WNBA player who tried to rip Caitlin Clark's eye out. Zach Dean over at Outkick, hilarious. They tried to rip Caitlin Clark's eye out, has security called on her by ref. That's right. The referee had to call security on DiJonai Carrington. I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, hell, who wants to catch a stray eye gouge, a scoopage of the eyeball out, watching your eyeball roll across the floor because somebody's mad at one of your calls?
Imagine the situation on May 30th, 2025. Tensions are high after the Dallas Wings' 97-92 loss against the Chicago Sky. However, what specifically transpired during that post-game discussion that caused a qualified official to feel threatened enough to need security? Referee Roy Galbian made an unusual ruling in WNBA history as a result of the rapidly intensifying debate between Carrington and Galbian. The particular course of events demonstrates how far Carrington's actions had devolved into chaos. A professional referee, who is trained to manage contentious interactions with players, decided he required backup because of the awkward situation that was created by whatever was said during that encounter. This has nothing to do with a player getting irate over a call. This concerned a player making a threatening environment that required security intervention.
Check this out right here. Yeah, you see this guy right here? Right in this Gentile area? You see this guy? The ref asked this dude to step out here. All right? Now, Cheryl Swoops wants this referee fired. She wants him fired. Look, he felt something. He felt something was amiss. Of course, Cheryl Swoops is defending DiJonai Carrington.
During a basketball game, other players and coaches looked on in disbelief as a player was summoned for security. Their faces showed their incredulity. This degree of dysfunction in professional basketball had never been seen before. Longtime league players claimed to have never witnessed anything like that. The matter was exacerbated by Carrington's social media response. "Security is crazy when I'm actually having a civil conversation," she wrote. He did, however, summon the security guard there. Her reaction revealed a complete lack of self-awareness regarding the way fans and officials saw her actions. If your notion of a polite discussion necessitates security support, that speaks volumes about your communication style.
DiJonai Carrington, we are not even 10 games into the season. There are more times than not of DiJonai playing dirty, get a flagrant foul. Oh my goodness, DiJonai, what's wrong with you, man? Is this what your coaches condone? Is this what your coaches, like, Christy 2.0, whatever we want to call this coach? I mean, are we condoning this?
This incident became the final straw for many fans who were already fed up with Carrington's antics. They had watched her poke Caitlin Clark in the eye, target Skylar Diggins in the head, and injure her own teammate. Now they were watching her create problems with officials that went beyond the game itself. Her 4 flagrant fouls this season built toward this exact moment. Each incident showed a pattern of escalating behavior that officials couldn't ignore anymore. The league's tolerance for her conduct was clearly reaching its breaking point when referees started calling for security during routine post-game interactions. When referees need security backup to handle you, you're not playing basketball anymore. You're creating problems that go way beyond the game. This has nothing to do with a competitive spirit or a desire to win. This concerned a player whose actions had gotten so out of control that skilled officials had to be shielded from her. The management of the Dallas Wings finally understood they needed to act.
Dallas Wings DiJonai Carrington has been traded to the Minnesota Lynx in exchange for Diamond Miller, Carly Samuelson, and Minnesota 2027 second-round pick. The team's sources has confirmed that.
The Dallas Wings eventually took the action that everyone had anticipated after months of defending the indefensible. Carrington was transported out of town. Diamond Miller, Carly Sampson, and a 2027 second-round selection returned to Dallas as part of the deal to the Minnesota Lynx. I wish the Lynx luck as they recover.
Now that's crazy because last time we seen DiJonai Carrington interacting with Minnesota players, y'all remember this on Stud Buds, right? Listen.
Just watch your step.
Academy, go.
I got this.
Okay, well now we're even because your dog's shit and piss in our room.
Oh wow.
We're even.
Hey, all right, one more thing. Hey, I love how direct you are.
There's Courtney. It's time to go.
Come on, bitch. Just watch your step.
Academy,
So we all remember that, and that was quite funny.
Here's what makes this trade intriguing, though. Minnesota, a club that is in the running for a championship, voluntarily brought pandemonium into their locker room. With a 24-win, 5-loss record, the Lynx are in a strong position to pose a serious challenge to the reigning champion New York Liberty. They recently added a player whose specialty is causing issues outside of basketball.
DiJonai, they not really rocking with you. They're trying to get rid of you. They're giving no reassurance that they want you around at all. You can't get in the game in the fourth quarters. You're buried in the bench. You've been awful this season. It looks like you've forgotten how to play basketball completely. And what do you know? Good morning. DiJonai Carrington has been traded. DiJonai Carrington has been traded to the Minnesota Lynx. Boy.
Let's discuss what Dallas truly received in exchange. Diamond Miller earned a position on the WNBA All-Rookie squad after being selected as the first overall pick in the 2023 WNBA draft. Miller averaged 12.1 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game in her first campaign. She has made 53.8% of her three-point shots in 2025, which is an outstanding percentage. Dallas can build around that genuine skill without having to worry about security concerns and eye pokes. With career averages of 5.3 points and 2.0 rebounds per game, shooting 41.1% from the field and 39.2% from beyond the arc, Carly Samuelson contributes seasoned expertise. Although she had to have surgery for a left foot injury, at least she is not experiencing behavioral problems. Issues that call for referee protection.
And she's not going to be going for your tomfoolery, your BS. When you get over there, trim the nails down, play basketball, and stop all that nonsense that you be doing. Stop all the flagrant fouling. Look, Cheryl Reeves ain't going to be going for all that. She ain't going to be going for your bull crap. You will be buried in the bench over there too. Cheryl Reeves will bury your ass in the bench over there too. Bring your game, not your name. Bring your game, not your fake fame.
Dallas supporters are rejoicing over this transaction as if they've won the lotto. The relief is palpable throughout all of the fans. They are at last no longer subjected to the ongoing drama and humiliation that accompanied their defense of Carrington's behavior. No longer defending shady tactics. No more defending the need for security calls on their athlete while she was playing. The one person who can apparently solve Carrington is Minnesota coach Cheryl Reeve, according to analysts. Let's be honest. When a player's issues are this severe, they are unfixable. Even the finest coaches are powerless to stop a player who picks on opponents and incites conflict with officials, despite Reeve's efforts to establish a championship culture in Minnesota.
Listen, DiJonai, I told you last time. I'm going to tell you again. You better bring your game to Minnesota or next season you might not even be here. You might not even be here next year. You might be playing on a minimum next year to be in this league. Straight up. You got to understand, you was the same person going on podcasts talking about if we don't get what we want, we sitting and all that. You're not even good enough to be out here talking like that.
The height of irony, a player who specializes in getting kicked out of important games was just traded by a championship club. Given that this deal took place immediately after Lynx standout player Nafi Sakalier departed the game due to an ankle ailment, Minnesota's timing is also dubious. Reliable depth was what they required, not more disorder. Dallas Wings recently demonstrated that owning up to your mistakes and moving on can sometimes be the best course of action. They have acquired genuine talent that can assist them in creating something long-lasting and remove the turmoil from their squad. In the meantime, Minnesota recently brought in an issue that has the potential to ruin their hopes of winning a championship sooner rather than later. DiJonai Carrington's trade represents more than only one troublesome player switching teams. The WNBA is at last realizing that skill does not justify risky conduct. The league has come under growing fire for allowing violent play that goes beyond safety lines. Dallas Wings shipped out their biggest liability, which was the right decision. Fans may now concentrate on the amazing basketball rather than worrying about which star player will be hurt next. Comment "Fire Carrington" if you want him removed from the league. Turn on all notifications, like, and subscribe to ensure you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.